clients, SFTP clients. Let's say when I say SFTP clients, you are using some of the SFTP servers to read some file. In that case, will be client. If you wanted to do that inbound functionalities using public SFTPs, you can use the public SFTP server and you can test it. Only the problem with this public SFTP server is you can able to just read a file, but you cannot able to write a file. So for that purpose, if you wanted to test, read and write a file, you can use the and you can download any one of them, either Rebex Tiny SFTP server or this one. So let's click on this Rebex Tiny SFTP server, and you just click on this download SFTP server application. Yesterday also I sent an email with this link and download button here. So once you click on this one, right, there will be one zip file will be installed, one zip file will be downloaded. You just unzip it. There is no specific criteria. You can unzip anywhere. And as of now, I have unzipped here. Okay, unzipped here. Once you unzip here, you just need to start the server using this button, Rebex Tiny SFTP server. This is just only to set up a SFTP server. Once we set up a SFTP server, we can able to read and write a file in a specific directory that will act as a SFTP, and we can use the SFTP connector from Delbumi. So once we click on this one, you will get this window. Initially it will get start, but after that what you can get, if you wanted to change any one of the username and password, you just open this in Notepad++. What is the username you wanted to put? What is the password? And this is the only these things you change it. You want to change username and password, and if you want to change the username directory data. If you don't find this data files and any certificate, it automatically gets created. Nothing you need to do. Folder and everything will get created. Only thing is you just need to, if you want to change the password, just change the password. By default, it will come the username is a tester and password will be the password. You can see here. I just change the username to Delbumi and password I keep remain same. And this is the place where exactly the files will be available here. And if you want to modify any of these username and password, you just need to update these files. That's all you need to do. Once if you are see the server is starting, you can be able to use this SFTP server. You can see the all IP address, which you can point local address, local host. Port number will be 2222. For FTP it will be F21, and for SFTP it will be 22. And next thing is username you have, password you have, host name you have, everything you have. So you can able to use it in Delbumi. Okay, I have used one of the SFTP just for testing purpose. You can just see here what is the thing I have created. I'll show you the file. I'll show you now, but I just wanted to show you. New connection here. I just put localhost, port number, username and password. That's all I used it here. I just pull some files here. Just pull some files. What are the files are there? Some data files, and then you can see this one. And the same thing I have written it to here. If you see the last files, sorry here, what are the files we read it here? You can say test file.txt, and this will be 2500. But you can say remote directory slash in the sense because we already specified in the config file user directory as a data. Means whatever the files you keep inside the data, it will be a root. You can see these files. What you can just remove all these files and you can generate these files whenever you are generating. Okay, now let's we have stopped the process query. Let's see how we can query our database process from the database query, and how we can write these details into FTP, SFTP, and then how we can convert before writing SFTP, how we can use the how we can convert it to XML and a flat file. Now also how we can use splitting and combining all these options today. Let's go back here. Okay. I think we already have this one. We can use this query customers. Okay. If you don't want to give any particular parameter here, Okay, because I am using this is operation in the one of the process. Inside this process, I don't want to change this profile. I can create the one more profile here. If I change it here, right, you can see how you can identify both are referring to the same profile or not. Let's click on here, operation in this process. Go for here. Oh, I think it's we are not using that. It's a different operation. Okay, sorry, I thought we are using connector. If you want to see from which folder it is basically referring, you can just click on folder. It will show you the folder structure. Yes, this is the operation available in demo. Now I am just going here. I am just altering this one. Uh, yes. I also remove the parameters because I wanted to query all the record from DB. Click on save and close, and then we don't need this noise. So since we have removed the parameters and even we need to remove the parameters because we already removed it, the references will be broken. Yes, we are ready to query now. Now we wanted to convert that. We wanted to convert that into and flat file profile. How we can convert this data into flat file profile? Yes, we already have it this one. We can use the tools. So by this time you should be having idea how we can generate all part files and how we can generate XML files and how we can use a map. Customer query here. This is the one, and then we need to convert this to flat file. You can use the Boomi suggest. Yes, we were able to once the database connector gets executed, we'll be able to query that information, and then that query will be converted from the database profile to XML flat file profile format. And then I can able to, if you want, I can generate the file to SFTP server. So before set up the dropping a file to SFTP server, I need to set the file parameters here. File name is here, and one more thing is I wanted to add the remote directory. We'll set a values, and then I wanted to add a connector over here, SFTP connector. So we already seen how we can connect, how we can set up an SFTP server. Let's go back here. We need to send a file. I can use this connection, and we can decide. Only thing is just put localhost, port number, and username and password icon, and then we can use the new SFTP. This is the operation. If you don't digest, nothing will be there. Put rename when file exists. And what is the remote directory you wanted to put it. And I think you don't have an option of creating remote directory. So we'll just put one of the directory inside here is the, let's click on new directory here. Let's say Boomi in. And if you want to put one more folder, Boomi out. Okay, now I wanted to copy the file to get this location. I'll just give slash here, whatever it is, and then I'll get override this value here. Until this data is nothing but it's a slash, because this is the folder we configured it. Then we need to give the folder like boomi underscore in, because the data we already given as a root directory over here. When this root directory, how it will represent in FTP or Sftp, in Linux or wherever it is, will just represent like this. Server pointer. So server automatically detects what is the root directory here based on the settings, server settings. The server settings automatically identify the data nothing but slash nothing but it will consider as the root directory. Root directory nothing but it will be going here. And inside that it will automatically select the boomi in folder. And then what is the file name you wanted to generate it? Maybe you can just generate a file with constant data. And then you can use it. Another option, sequences. We have different options here. As a reference, sequence value or unique value. You can just use unique value. You can just put the CS. And also at the same time I wanted to generate an XML file also using the same thing. There might be chances where sometimes you may need to use the same data. So I don't want to put again and again here. Let's say if I wanted to add a connector here. As I told you earlier, any outbound connector should be the last option here. Should be the last option. So execution will not come to the stop here. Execution will be halted here. After this particular step executed, any connector outbound action, here I am using outbound action here. Any connector outbound action, the connector gets executed, execution will be halted here. And in case, okay, in this case what I want to do, after writing a file, generating a flat file to accept to the server, I wanted to generate a XML file also. I wanted to do further processing. So in that case, what we can do, let's say some of the cases why we'll do this. When you are reading a file from SF to the server and before processing the file, you always doing a backup. After doing a backup in nothing but you will be using the send action. It might be Sftp or FTP or any other disk that you will be storing the file. In that case, outbound connector, after outbound connector, you cannot place any activities. You can place, but execution will not continue further. Let's see here. You might have observed or not. Now you can just see. Okay, you can see that execution did not continue further because mostly the thing is outbound connector always will be the end action. In that case, if you wanted to add further steps after outbound connector, there is a step called branch. I'll show you this branch. 1 second. Now we'll see how the file got generated. Yes, you can see file got generated. You can see the output here. This is the connection data it retrieved, the 6 data, and then you can see there is no further modification of data happened from the database connector to here. So same data has been passed in. So the map is basically doing the transmission of the data. So the map output you can see here. So the map what we are doing here is we are converting the database profile format to CSV format. Yes, that CSV profile format is available here. sorry, we can just add a branches here. We can add a branch here. So the branch basically used to do a sequential task. Sequential task. Whenever you wanted to do any sequential task, you can add it a branch here. You can add a branch here. And then how many number of branches you can configure, how many number of nodes you can configure. You can configure up to 25. Up to 25 you can configure it. So means basically what it will do, whatever the input data, the branch will not alter any data, but instead whatever the input data it reaches the branch, it will be copy the each data over each leaf. Each leaf it will copy. Let's say if your input data is coming a plot file data, the same plot file data you will be available copied here. The same plot file data will be copied here. You will copy the parallelly here. And with this data, whatever you want, you can do it. But if I wanted to place a branch step here to generate an XML file, what is the advantage over here? I'll show you. If you are maybe you can just see if you wanted to connect, you're connecting here, or if you're connecting here, both will be same. But when you're connecting here, right, make sure you will be both set property and then the Sftp connector will be in the same branch. So you're putting here and it will be there in different. So sometimes the variables you may apply or may not apply for Sftp if you are using the branches here. So if you want, either you can just go here. You can connect like this, and you can generate one more files here. But if you wanted to convert a one more file, what will be your data will be coming here is, you need to understand what will be the data type will be coming here, because the data is coming here. From here you already converted the data from database to XML profile, file profile here. And if you wanted to convert that to XML profile, what you need to do, you have to put a map step here. The map step here. But this time the source profile should be an flat file profile, because the data is already converted here. And then destination profile would be XML. Instead of you do all these things here, why can't you directly change the data here? So directly put a branch step here. Branch step here. As I told you what branch will be doing, whatever the data is reaching the branch step, same data will be copied here and here also. In this case, the data type would be database profile format. With this database profile format, I can able to generate a plot file here, and I can create a one more profile here. I can create a one more profile here, and for that profile, let's copy here. Don't copy components here. I'm just copy pasted this one. Now let me configure the duplicated profile here. This is the one. Edit here. Instead of plot file, I wanted to convert it to XML here. It goes not become local, should become choose. If you click on customers, what happens? Let's see here. You can just set property. If you want to copy, you can just highlight it here and you can select the copy. But if you wanted to paste it, you have to, wherever you want to paste, you just have to click on left click. You will see the paste. And you click on the paste button. Whatever the activity, even you can copy n number of activities. And you don't need to recreate the same profile connector. You can directly use this one. because we are not doing anything much. Whatever we already configured and all the properties we configured it here. So that we can reuse this product. So in this way, what is the advantage here? Here we are using the same profile format and we are doing the different actions here. And if you are keeping the same profile branch here, what you need to do, you need only thing is that there will be no changes but here. But only thing is your instead of you configure database profile in the map, it will be different. It will be flat file to configure it here. That's the only difference. Sometimes whenever you wanted to do a different task, right? In that case, if you wanted to again, if you wanted to use the database profile format itself here, you don't want to use a flat file. Sometimes the requirement it may come, so depends on the process demand. It may you need to use the same profile format there. What you need to do in that case, just need to store it here. You need to create one process property or dynamic process property and store. Let's create one variable called db data. Let's create one thing called db data. Oh, this db data you should put before. You should put before. Sorry, not before set property. Let's click on set property here. So whenever you want, you can store it and then you can retrieve the same data here, db data. And for this db data, what you need to select? You need to select the current data. It's a predefined variable. Current data means whatever the data was coming, all the document, enter the document data will be copied into this variable. That's what the current data means. Whatever the data that is currently flowing, that data will be stored in this variable. So once you store a variable and if you wanted to configure a connector over here, what you need to do, let's see, let me show you how the data got changed in the message step here. I just want to put message step here because here I am going to retrieve the profile format here. Whatever the current that is DB data I have stored it, all the data I wanted to retrieve again back. Select the dynamic process property, click on this property name. Just see how the data is getting changed because of the message step. Because message step will alter the data always. Set property will not alter the data. We just define will either create or retrieve variable. The branch will not alter any data. It will just whatever the input data it was coming, the same data will be replicated each and every leaf. And there was a map. The map basically doing the conversion of the data here. The here map also will alter the data from current data to destination profile format data. It will be changing it here. So there are and connector also. As soon as you place a connector, the current data will be placed in here because you in the data in the start shape you put a connector because of the connector resulted data and the same data is been flowing through here. If there is no data is there is no connector, what is the data it will go? By default there is an empty document will be flowing. It means each connector will all alter the data as well as the map step will alter data and the message step also will alter the data. When I say alter the data, what it means? Let's run it this time. Let's see. See, in the Bhumi, especially need to understand more where and what are all the different steps that actually changing the current data. If you know this logic kernel, then it's very easy for us to develop it because depends on the current data. If you understand what data is coming here, based on that only you can define a map step or you can define any you're retrieving any value from the profile elements. That the profile also should come over there. If you don't, if your the data is coming different and you configure different profile elements, then you won't get any data here. Okay. You can see here, this time we might have get generated two files here. One is the XML profile. All the data is available. This is the just another profile got generated. Then let's leave it this one. So if you just see what we are doing, we are trying to store entire DB data in a variable here. This DB data can be used for later point of time. Next, what is the input data over here? You can see here, executing branch, creating a data for branch 1 and branch 2. So let's see what is the input data is coming for this one. Yes, we are getting the plot file database profile format. Let's see as a branch is replicating the same data at the each loader, each leaf or not. Yes, here also you can see here. So after that, what is the format of data is converted in this branch? You can see because of the map, it is converted. It means map is altering the data. And if you wanted to store any one of the profile elements here, what is the profile element you need to access here is a plot file because the data is already coming in plot file. But in this case, if you wanted to define any, if you want to store any data from the profile elements, you need to use the XML profile because we are getting the data in XML profile format here. Until that, see again, we have a different message step here. Okay, if you just see here, from one branch we are getting the plot file data, from another branch we are getting the XML data. But we'll have a multiple documents here. See, this is a one flow, and this is the another flow. Let's see what is that document here. Yes, in the first document we are getting the plot file data. That's nothing but this is the one. And the second data was the XML data. Yes, it's correct. And then let's see how many number of documents will be get created here. Here also we'll just verify how many types of profiles are available here. One is a plot file data, it comes. XML data, it comes. Let's go for connection data. Yes, this is I think even if you are giving set properties after branch also it's working. And then if you see here, but in this part the message step will not executed. If you observe it, if in this case the message this notify the stop shape got executed in this flow also, here we are getting two documents. The same two documents will go here, the same two documents will go here. Ideally should get the four documents here. We are showing only two documents because after the connector will not execute this flow. Only this is the connector to execute flow. That's the reason you are able to see only two connectors. But if you see the two connectors, what is the output of two connectors? It's a DB data. Next thing is DB data. Why? Because the DB data is there. Actually, what is the two profiles we are getting? One is of CSV data before branch and branch input. Other one is we are getting the XML data here. But why this change has happened is, and in the message step, input we got two documents. One is a CSV, other one is XML. But in the message step, I defined it to DB data that I was stored here in the database profile format. Because of that, I put the message data, and if whatever the output of the message, that will alter that will make as the current data. Whatever the previous output data was there and current data was there, the current data will be replaced with the message output as a current data. That is one of the most difference between the message step and the notify. And you can see there is a one more shape called notify here. You can see the notify. Notify also will looks to be similar. Looks to be similar, but this is hidden it here. Notify also will be similar. The way how it represents very similar here. The only difference is message step will alter the current data. Message step will alter the current data. And whereas the notify shape will not alter any current data. It will use it. See, when you're running in deploy mode, right? When you're running in deploy mode, you will not able to see what is the data coming here, what is the data going here. Not able to see the actual runtime data in the log until unless you put some kind of a login. So here when I say logging, what is the shape that's doing for logging? This is the notify shape. Whatever you configured in the notify shape, that will be available in the login. I hope it is already showed you here. Yet. This is the main difference between the notify. Notify is just used uh, to write some information to the process log. But message will not write any information to the log. Instead, it will alter the current data. Whatever the message shape output will be there, that will be generated as a current data in the further activities. And mostly whenever you are seeing, right, so whenever you are sending an email alerts, you'll just put let's say when you will be sending an email alerts, you are trying to validate one of the document. You are trying to validate one of the document, and for this profile, let's say some of the validation you are doing for customer, the customer ID is not less than 4 characters, something greater than 4 characters, and customer name is not contain any special characters. Maybe let's say you're doing this kind of a special validations you're doing. If this validations is not passed, then you wanted to send an email saying that this is a customer record got in the validation got failure. In that case, the whatever the message content, the body, the email body, whatever the email body you wanted to send it, all your email body will be formulating with your message step. You'll write all, this is a pretext. If you want to write any static text, even you can write static text. You can write everything, whatever you can write, you will be. And if you wanted to use any dynamic one, you can use the parameters as a dynamic one. You can use the validation got failure. You can type here the validation got failure. The validation got failure at this step. You can write all your description. And if you want to generate any data dynamically here, it means after you this, if you put a mail connector, it means whatever the output shape, whatever the message output is written, that will generate as a document. It means that this document is reaching to the mail connector. It means mail will be sent with the body. The body is similarly what we have configured here. So mainly before mail connector, you always see message step, because whatever the body they wanted to formulate, all the formulation will be done in the message step here. Not only for message mail connector, it can be used in different purpose. Let's say if you wanted to use the same connector, same map here. Now I can use it here, because see, sometimes you may need to reuse the maps that can make. Okay, if you observe here, in this case, I already have the database profile. I already converted it here, and same thing I am doing here is, let me run this time. I won't get any error here. Okay, let me show you another one. Another the same thing I am using it here, but without message shape. I wanted to show what is the error. We'll get it here. Let me increase it to one more. Three. Let's run this process. You can see what is the error we got it. Please check source profile and make sure it matches the source data. Means until here it's fine. But if you see here, what is the data we are actually coming input here? CSV data. But because here, since we connected from here to here, there will be two data types will be coming. One is a CSV, other one is XML. But it first it reaches the CSV data and it got failure, and because of that reason, the second document it's not at all reached here. Because of the after it get executed first document successfully, then second will be receiving here. That's the reason you can see the two. One second, where is, I think this flow is not executed. Why this flow is not executed? Maybe sometimes it will not show you here because this flow also should execute. You will get two documents here. What happened? Even though it is not okay. Let's see whatever. Maybe the profile is disconnected or something. And here the reason why it has given error is we are getting the data in profile format, but we have configured in the map step source profile as a database. So that's the reason if you are not configuring it properly, you will get this kind of errors. What is the error? You are telling that source data and source profile both are not matching. No data produced from map. Please check the source profile and make sure it matches the source data. This is the three common error we'll get it if you are not configuring the profiles properly. So, but you wanted to fix these things, you need to understand what current data is coming and what you need to put in the source profile. So that's the thing. Because of that here, I wanted to change this to database profile format. Whatever, whether it's come to CSV or XML, I want to convert to database profile format. So I just put in the message step. I produced the database profile data here, and this time it went fine. I'm just showing all these alternatives because in the real time you may need to come across these situations where you can do all these things to resolve this. Okay, let's see why this is path is not executed. Maybe it is disconnected something. This is the one, and there was one more thing we didn't see this. Just we'll be there 5 minutes. We'll just see that one also. Somehow it's happening. It's not going there. Got already. Now we'll just see. I'm just deleting all. Let's see what I'm doing here is I'm getting an XML profile will be getting generated here. Now I wanted to but this time if you observe here, all your XML profiles are getting generated in only one document. There might be some time where you need to do a combining here. Let's say that as of now we don't have a profile with this format. With this format, at any point of time, my profile will be accessed only one customer. Only one customer. In that time, I wanted to hold all these entire customer things into the here. Let's see how we can do all these things here. Let's add one more step here. I don't want to disturb this one. Let's copy this map step here. Duplicate this map step XML here. You see here, because for this profile, this is an unbounded element. Unbounded, it was generating, it was able to accumulate all the XML profiles in one document itself. But let's say I wanted to select this is XML profile. Basically have only customer information. It can generate multiple customers here. Okay, and this time, let's say the customer has given this is the one, and you wanted to club all these files, and you need to send it back. Then let's how we generate it here. Sometimes you may need to make it the requirement where you need to send the response, but while processing it, you may need to split all the documents and you need to process it. While sending the response back, you need to club all the responses. When you're generating each response single time, you need to generate all the response, you need to club all the response and you need to send it. So in order to do that, we have certain steps here. We can manipulate the data manipulation here. Let's run this process. I think I don't want to run each and every time these connectors here. Let's disconnect here. We don't want to generate each and every thing. Let's run this. How many documents will get now? We're only concentrating about the branch 3 here. You can see here multiple documents will be getting generated because each and every time the profile can able to accumulate the profile can able to accumulate only one customer information here. Okay, now let's do the combining. I don't want to generate all these documents. I wanted to generate in one profile. So for that we have one more option called data process here. Data process here. Data process we have option of combining here. But when you are combining option based on the profile type, what happens here, right? Let's see. Let's try to. If I select like this, the combine. I'm just selecting like this. If I use the data process for combining based on XML profile and select the combine option is this one, then we'll get it only the customer ID. To see that the document here, we got only one document, all the documents are combined. But the thing is here we'll get only one customer ID. Whatever the element we select, all the customer. But I wanted to have all the details. I wanted to have all the details along with the customer ID. In that case, let's go here. Let's see if maybe the different option can we use it here. We cannot able to select this customer here. That's the reason here. So I'm able to select the customer, and then maybe I can select into different elements here. But I don't have, as of now, I could not able to select the entire element here. I could not able to select the root element here. So for that, instead of we do what you are doing here, we can use a none. None nothing but it will just combine blindly new line. Whatever it is generate first document, after first document it will generate a new line. After second document generate new line. Like all the documents will be keep on clubbing. Let me show you how we can how the data will be generated using the none format when you are using the combining option based on none. Let's see here, because based on the data only we can define a rules to formulate the data. Let's go here and copy this to Notepad++. Over language. You can see here, this is the one document, and immediately appended all the documents here. But if you wanted to make a one valid XML, what I told you should be occur only once. At also the same time, only one root element should be available. Because the customer is a root element, I wanted to put one more tag called customers. And then I wanted to remove all these things at each and every places here. But one problem here is we can do the set replaces here. I wanted to show you all the fetch replace functionality. That's the reason I'm coming all these options. I can add multiple things here. I can use a fetch replace. What I want to do, if I directly use a fetch and replace all these things, this will not be replaced here. Because why? Because this is the all the fetch replace, basically it will do the rejects pattern. How this fetch and replace will happen? This internally uses the Java rejects pattern. The way how I showed you, similarly the disconnector rejects pattern will be there. Here also it will use the rejects pattern here. It means it will just take kind of some pattern. Based on that pattern, it identifies it. But when you're coming for Java, right, these all are special characters here. Less than, and then this one, and this question mark, and this greater than. All things we can call in XML as a escaping characters. We can call these special characters as escaping characters. And how this actual data represent less than will represent in XML, how it will represent, because it's a tag, it is represented. But if you are coming any less than symbol in the value, right, this less than will be represented equal to ampersand lt colon, because this is special characters. If it is greater than, just gt, because these are special characters in XML. So you cannot directly copy paste all these things for C replacing. Instead of what you can do, you can copy paste and take this one for set replacing. Set and then replace with null. How you want to replace it? Entire document once, or is saying not recommended for large documents, increment line by line. And other option is after that what will be there after you replacing? In replacing this set up, this set will be there. This set will be there. You wanted to replace this particular set also. If you want to replace that one, you have to escape the backslash. Means if you wanted to identify this less than, you have to escape this one. You have to use escape. So it means that when you are using escape, means it will, you are telling for the compiler to escape the special character. So it will be this both will represent as a less than. This both will represent as a question mark. This both will represent as question mark, and these both two characters will be represented as greater than. So now copy paste in another set replacement. After you replace this one, if any resulted document, on the resulted document you replace this one. So after you done this thing, so let's see what is the data we'll get it here. Because all these manipulations we can do it in sometimes we may need to alter the data, we can do all these replaces. So that's the reason I'm showing all these functionalities here. You can go here. Now let's see what is the data you got it here this time. All your customers, everything was removed here. Only thing is, if you can just put this is our root element here, that will be more than enough now. Like if you can just put entire this thing, if you can enclose all your data into this open and ending customer tags, that will be fine. Only thing how we can add, how we can put all these things into, how you can put all this data within these tags. So as I told you, in the message is a free format text. Message is free format text. You can put whatever you want in the message, and also you can use the dynamic content also. So here I'll be using the message tag. I'll be putting here, and in between this, I wanted to use a one, because this is the data we are getting. How I can represent whatever the data is coming here into this in this particular format using the current data. When I say current data, whatever the data was coming, all the data will be placed inside this, and runtime you will get all this data. But in message step, specifically in message step, when you are getting a runtime data, there will be no issues. But when you are specifically hard coding it, right? Single character is a special character in message step in only Boomi, not for XML. So you just replace all these things. If you don't replace the message step, it will just fail your here. Replace single quote with double quote. But runtime it will handle the single quotes. Only when you are hard coding this one, you just need to put wherever you are putting single quotes, try to enclose everything in double quotes. This time you can connect this also because we are generating same thing and this file will be generated without any special file details. So it means it will generate the dynamic file name. Okay, you can see it. But if you just go here, let's delete all this and then you can see what you can do. Retry previous things. Whatever the database connector data it retrieved it, all the data will be available here. It will not move the database again and again. When you are retrying it, means whatever the connector data was there, the connector data will be stored in the atom memory, and the same same data will be used for running this process without connecting to the database connector again. Right, these many profiles are generated here. So many profiles are generated here. Let's open this one. No. Let's close all these things. One customer. Okay. And we have converted all these things. Why this thing is generated? This should not generate. Maybe the process is not taking a bit here. How many characters are coming? Oh, okay, got it. See, when I am replacing this profile, right? I have referred both the profiles here. Same. I copy pasted the profile, but I did not use the profile here. You can see this. This profile is using this profile map, and even this profile also is the same map. That's the reason. Here, I wanted to use another profile here. Copy paste this. Let's have the customer and customer. Let me run once again. Why this file is not getting generated? It's not connected at all. I think so. Let me run this. You can see the output here. What is the data you are getting here? And you can compare whatever the data we actually generated with the repeating element inside the profile. this is a profile actually which generated the profile. This is the one with generated the profile with search replace and combine options. But you don't see any difference here. You can see only some spaces will be there, spaces will not a matter. Spaces in between the XML tags is not a matter. Only spaces inside an element value will be sometimes will be matter. So this is how we can generate using the now you know how to use the combine option here with none. Once you use the combine option with none, if you wanted to perform any other data manipulation, data formation or data formation, we can use the fetch replace and then custom scripting. If any other things, we can use all the steps. We have used some of the options like combine option and custom scripting, and then using the message, I have formulated all the data, and then I converted it, and then I can put again a map connector here, and I can put a disconnector, and I can generate all the files here. This is how we can work with database connector. We have seen database connector with the inbound and outbound, how we can read a query and write a query, how we can, and one more thing I was about to tell you, when you are going here, when you are inserting a database data here, when you are working with parent and child relationship, when you are working with parent and child relationship, let's go for any one of the connector. You can click on here, you can add a child statement also. Means when you add a child statement, again you will get this kind of a complete statement structure. Means you can do the parent and child relation. If you wanted to insert the same, let's say you are getting some customer along with items, you wanted to insert the customers into the parent table and you wanted to insert the items into the another child table. Both customers and items both are the parent child relationship. You wanted to do this thing, you don't need to put two different connectors for writing the customers into a customer table and then items into another table. You can use the one connector and with different statements. Here you can just again you can import all those things or you can write your. When you do this kind of things, automatically the same fields will be available in the map and you can able to map it. So database connector will able to write data into both the tables. Not only two tables, you can add any number of like this. You can add any number of the statements like this. You can add anything. So it means so even you can use using the database connector, you can do the parent child parent child data inserted will be at once. I think this is the only thing left for database connector. And if you wanted to delete, let's say I wanted to just only 2 minutes. I wanted to delete all the connectors. I wanted to delete all the entries in my database. I want to delete all the entries in my database. You can use a program command. This basically the program command is you used it for some of the program command is used for some of the operations. It will be performed for two functionality. One is whenever you wanted to execute any Windows functionalities. Let's say whatever our DOS command prompt. Let's say whatever the command prompt is executing, all Windows command prompt, all those things can be executed using this one. Let's say I wanted to execute a batch file. I wanted to execute a batch file, or on the runtime I wanted to execute a script file. And whatever the atom type you are using, maybe if your atom is installed on Linux, or depends on that, all the files it can be executed here. The program command. You can nothing but system level commands. Another thing is even we can use for to work with the databases. But this time it won't require any profiles. You don't need sometimes like I wanted to delete. What I have done earlier is I just was updating one of the element here. Another way, in other flow I was just updating it. Where is that? I was just updating one of the field here. If you just see here, for updating one field, basically don't require to configure all this connector. Can we do it directly here using the process program command here? Yes, we can do it here. You write your own query let's say even instead of updating, even I'm trying to delete all the record. Delete from customers. If you want, you can make it your query much more larger. And I wanted to select the connection here. And if you want to here, but you since we don't get any profile here, if you wanted to insert a multiple data with multiple profile elements, then it will be problem here, because each and every element you need to select it here as a from the profile elements. So the from profile elements you need to select each and every element. But whenever you are inserting any thing like insert the data and update the data with more number of fields, it's better to go with the database connector. Or if you are doing any simple statements like lookup statements, or if you are doing any simple one or two fields update, it's better to go here. So it will be more fast, and because even you don't need to configure the profile and then connector operation, all these things not really required. Everything will be done in one simple. So at the end of the time, I want to delete all these things here. Save it here. And this program command is used for the executing some simple database statements, and as well as the some of the database some of the system level commands. System level commands nothing but basically whenever you want to execute some batch files or other things. And this time I will be rerunning the this time I will be running the process once again. If I run the process once again, this time the process should not retrieve any data, because already I have deleted all the records over here. You should get empty document here. Okay, yes, we did not get any. This is the way how we can work with the database, and we'll see tomorrow the other things, how we can work with web services. Just a second.